down in the dirt. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. Been real bad. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt, down in the dirt.
And good evening, ladies and welcome to Slammin' Saturday. Unfortunately, Scott Kolovic is not able to be here this evening, so I will be your host for the evening. We are at Talladega. We're in the trucks tonight, 100 laps. Boys are out there doing their qualifying laps right now. A little information about tonight. Once again, we are at Talladega. This is Slammin' Saturday, brought to you by KMA Racing and KMA TV. Filling in for Scott Kolovic. Looks like the qualifying efforts have completed. It will be lining up here shortly. Take a look at the track weather tonight. Air temperature is 64.99 degrees. Track temperature is 75.79 degrees. We are at Talladega. Track length of the speedway here tonight is 2.653 miles. Cars are lined up as we go check out our qualifying order. Looks like Donald Stewart has taken the pole position with the 53.423. Outside row, we'll have Maurice Johnson with the 53.442. Joel Guy rolling off third with the 53.464. Rolling off fourth will be Lee Staples. Rolling off fifth will be Chris Hogue. Sixth will be Edward Bray. Sideline on that fourth row will be Kerry Allen Stewart. Outside him will be Will Prolix. Rolling off ninth will be Michael Johnson. And rounding out our top 10 will be Gary Whitmer. Rolling off 11th will be Tommy Ryan in the number 21 car. Rob Haynes will be rolling off 12th. Ryan McGurk will be starting from the 13th position, while Craig Kenny will be starting on the outside of the 7th row in 14th. Eric Stiles will be rolling off 15th in the 01 car. Number 20 of Dave Acacia will be rolling off 16th. Richard Brose will be starting 17th this evening. Jeff Brine starting 18th. John Henderson will be rolling off 19th in the number 11 car. Gary Whitmer Sr. is out there in the number 7 car this evening. He will be rolling off 20th. Ronald Klein will be starting 21st. Oh, we know that's not true because I'm up here in the booth. And Kevin Scott Nelson will be our final car, rolling off 22nd. That is your grid. Come down and get set to watch these guys battle out for 100 laps here at Daytona International Speedway. Sorry, Talladega Speedway. Pretty fair-sized field for this evening. Pace car is about to duck on off into pit road, and we are going to be going green flag racing. Pace car is off, waiting on the leader. Donald Stewart puts the hammer down, and we are away. Donald Stewart pulling slightly ahead on that inside lane. Maybe not pulling ahead, but the 91 not getting the start that he wished for. As these cars come up to speed, they will start to gather back up together. That outside lane has the number 64, Lee Staples, with his teammate Edward Bray in the 66 right behind him. The 64 and 66 abandon that outside lane, drop down in front of Donald Stewart. Looks like Lee Staples will come to lead lap number 1. Position, maybe thinking about ducking to the outside. Gary Whitmer Jr. pushing on the back of the number 83 of Will Polix, trying to push his way up towards the front of this pack. Will Polix getting a little bit loose there. That will allow the inside lane to get a little bit of a run. Scoot away from number 83 and the number 5 and the number 90 of Fred Kenny. Donald Stewart now ducking to that outside lane. Lee Staples still firmly in command of this race. Donald Stewart trying to mount a challenge at outside lane. Now has the help of the number 83 truck pushing on him. Number 83 goes high in turn 3 and 4. That allows Gary Whitmer Jr. to get underneath him. 83 will most likely fall back as we are 3 wide. See a hole open up there for the number 83. Drops in behind the number 90 and we are still good to go. Staples on that inside line, continuing to lead with the help of Edward Bray. Donald Stewart on the outside line with the help of Gary Whitmer. Outside lane just cannot seem to get enough momentum to get around the 64 truck being pushed on by the number 66 of Edward Bray. We take a ride with Lee Staples. We see the number 78 inching ahead just ever so slightly. Jumping over to Donald Stewart's cockpit, we see they must be about dead even because we are unable to see the number 64. We jump overhead to our blimp view. You can see that they are pretty much evenly matched in the front two lanes. Donald Stewart getting a slight run to that outside lane, trying to get up there in front of that number 64 and lead some laps here. On lap 7 of 100. Ace later is still Lee Staples. Donald Stewart with a big push from the number 5 truck. See if they can get enough momentum for that number 78 to get around the 64 of Lee Staples. Not quite clear, cannot pull down just yet. Gary Whitmer trying to get to the back bumper and get that 78 out in front. Probably hoping to cool the truck down very soon. Taking a look at Donald Stewart currently with a fast lap of 48.898. Last lap was a 48.999. So very close lap times. Start cycling still a little bit here and taking a look at all these drivers, all these paint jobs, as it looks like the 78 may have finally cleared the inside lane. Does indeed clear that inside lane, comes down in front of Lee Staples. That will put Donald Stewart out front momentarily. It looks like Gary Whitmer Jr. has a big run on the outside as well. They're 3 wide with the number 68 truck going high. Gary Whitmer Jr. has a big run. Pulls down on that inside lane there. That will allow Gary Whitmer Jr. to get out front momentarily, while the number 90 of Craig Kenny and the number 83 of Will Prulix try to work together to get the number 90 out in front. Gary Whitmer Jr. being shown as the leader. Jump up to our leader here, Gary Whitmer Jr. running at the pad truck, the Lenny Foundation side of it. On his outside, you've got Craig Kenny running the GoPro truck. Donald Stewart in the number 78 with the Boston Red Sox paint job. His outside, you have the number 83 of Will Prulix going Eric Jordan on the side of that truck as he goes just a bit high. Back one position from there. Edward Bray currently showing in 6th position. Bringing out the red and black Punisher or Reaper. There's a Punisher and a Reaper on there. To his outside, you've got the 322 car of Maurice Johnson with Johnson Racing. Sim Computer Racing, Fanatec, and KMA on the side of that truck. Lee Staples in the Staples CAD Tech Chevrolet Silverado. Rob Haynes currently being shown in 8th position in the Google truck. Got the little Coyote there. One more step back, we've got Bill Guy in the number 91 with the red, white, and blue theme. Eagle on the front, flag in the back, Marine Corps emblem there on the back as well. Chris Hogue in the number 6 truck. RTK Motorsports, PAD, KMA TV. Logos supporting that truck. Chris Hogue currently running in the 10th position. Dave Acacia coming by on the outside in the number 20 Flex Volt DeWalt truck. Toyota. Terry Allen Stewart in the number 56 Phantom Zone F-150. It says F-150, but looks like he's driving a Toyota. Outside of him, we've got the 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson in the PPG Paint Old School Motorsports truck. In 14th, you've got Michael Johnson, the Precision Structures Incorporated CAD endorsed Chevrolet Silverado. In the number 11 truck, you've got John Henderson with the Monster Energy Silverado. And sitting 20th, we have Gary Whitmer Sr., number 7. No sponsor at all. Gary Whitmer Sr. probably looking for a good run here, get a chance at a sponsorship tonight. That is our field. As we go back to the front, we've got Craig Kenny currently out front. Number 83 of Will Prulix on his outside. Gary Whitmer on the inside behind Craig Kenny. Then the 322 of Maurice Johnson on that outside in the second lane. Will Prolix continues to try to fight his way up there to the front with the help of Maurice Johnson. Craig Kenny down there on that inside lane with Gary Whitmer Jr. pushing on him. Craig Kenny still sitting in that number 1 position on the inside lane, followed by Gary Whitmer Jr. On the outside lane, not much has changed. Will Perlitz, Maurice Johnson, Rob Haynes. Current running order.
That's the worst shape I've ever seen him. He looks blown out of shape. I'm gonna breeze through him. Trust me on that.
What will you come into the ring weighing tomorrow night? Do you have an idea?
A lot bigger than him.
170?
I'd say close to 170, yes.
Take it.
I'll stomp my foot right in the center of that ring. I won't go.
Can tell you all 17 trucks that lined up to start this race are currently still all out there. We are on lap 22 of 100. We've only had 3 lead changes. No caution so far, knock on wood. Stretch. Rob Haynes pulling high. We are currently 3 wide again. But back up to blimp mode. Looks like we've got the 91 of Joel Guy, the 20 of David Casey, and the 322 of Maurice Johnson. 3 wide there. Maurice Johnson 3 wide, falling back. Gonna have to try to find a hole or tuck in behind the pack when they have all passed him. Quite a shuffle up in the field currently. Gary Whitmer Jr. back out front. Donald Stewart second. Lee Staples third. Craig Kenny trying to fight his way back out up on that outside lane. David Casey coming up on the outside lane trying to give him some assistance. We are on lap 25 of 100. Should be seeing pit stops within the next 5 to 10 laps. Gary Whitmer Jr. out in the front. The number 90 of Craig Kenny abandoning that outside lane, jumps down behind Donald Stewart, gets a run, and then pulls right back out. Decides that's not the move he wants to make. Gets into the back of the 78, gives him a little bit of a bump. Number 5 out there showing the way as we cross 26 of 100. Watching Lee Staples sitting in 6th position. Jumping back to Joel Guy. Joel Guy currently being shown in the 9th position. Oh, as we get Donald Stewart going sideways, number 5 of Gary Whitmer Jr. slowing, was going to make a pit stop. Chris Hogue in behind him. We'll see if Donald Stewart got it straightened out. He did go sideways. Donald Stewart is down onto pit road. Unfortunately, did lose a lot of time there. Will not be able to get back out with the leaders. Forced to sit there. We'll get off pit road finally as we watch for pit road. Pummers on to pit road. There's Rob Haynes. Rob Haynes coming down by himself. Back to our leaders. As we have the number 7 truck coming in to pit road. They're on lap 29 of 100. Dave Acacia currently being shown as our race leader. In fact, these guys will probably be making their way to pit road this time. Dave Acacia pulling down 4 cars, staying out on the track. Looks like Lee Staples, Edward Bray, and a few others. Oh no, and there's contact between the 224 and another car. If the 224 is going to be able to get it rolling before we bring out a caution. Kevin Scott Nelson does get it going. We stay green. Unfortunately, he and the Having Scott Nelson still sitting on pit road may have gotten a penalty as we jump back to our leader. Lee Staples, Edward Bray, it looks like they're coming in for their pit stop. Lee Staples taking it nice and easy. Edward Bray, the old guy, getting off into the grass. This is definitely going to change a lot of things. 3 different pit stop strategies going on here. The 004 of Michael Johnson staying out. Sounds like Michael Johnson may be out of fuel. Michael Johnson down to 120 miles per hour. He is definitely out of fuel. Took a gamble. These trucks cannot make it that far, it would seem. We jump back and try to find out who our leader is. Get an update shortly. Looks like it will be that of Lee Staples. Lee Staples now currently being shown as the race leader, with Edward Bray pushing on him, then the number 5 car of Gary Whitmer Jr. and Chris Hogue. Chris Hogue out there pushing his teammate to the front of the field, holding that outside lane with the help of Dave Acacia. Jump up into blimp mode. I can tell you that this is an 8-car breakaway, and we have a caution that has just come out. As we are watching the number 91 of Joel Guy ending up in the wall, bringing out the caution flag. Unfortunate incident for Joel Guy. Not sure exactly what happened there. Joel Guy going a lap down due to that. All of these cars were just on the lead lap, or excuse me, were on pit road, so I do not intend, I do not foresee them coming back down. This does not put them within a pit window where they can make it on just one more stop. We have 66 laps to go. I would assume that most of these cars will stay out, but there is always that chance that someone may decide to come down pit road. Gary Whitmer Jr. below the yellow line does decide to bring it on to pit road. He is not the only one. He has Dave Acacia, Maurice Johnson, and others, including Will Prolix and Rob Haynes, that had followed him down. That will put Chris Hogue up in the lead position, number 1 position. Well, let's take a moment here and go ahead and get our leader up here. Chris Hogue, this is Ron Klein in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, how's your night going so far? Looks like you and Gary were able to work together, and you got Gary up front. Gary decided to go ahead and pit. That puts you in the lead.
Yeah, we're having a good night tonight. We're just not just trying to just take our time, not rush things, and just take advantage of other guys going in.
Copy that. Truck looks great. Looks like you changed a couple things up on your paint job and kind of black and green again.
Yeah, the yellow. I kind of got out of the yellow there, and it was kind of getting to be an eyesore, and I just wanted to go back to my black and green. Those are my two favorites.
Well, I am a big fan of black and green as well, so you'll hear no heartache from me whatsoever. Um, that is my primary colors for my cars as well. We did happen to run just a little over 30 laps. We were able to get green flag pit stops in. Talk to me about your race so far.
Well, we qualified pretty well, and I was real happy about that. We kind of fell back in the pack, and just decided to get hooked up with Gary there, and we kind of made our way to the front when everybody went in for the green flag pit stops, and hopefully we can keep our number 6 RTK Motorsports truck out in front for a while and lead some laps.
Copy that. I want to wish you the best luck, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you at the end of the evening.
10-4, thank you, Ron.
Alrighty. Thanks, Chris. Alright, so Chris Hogue out there in that number 1 position. Go ahead and bring up our 3rd place runner currently, Edward Bray. Edward Bray, this is Ron Klein in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Ronald.
Well, we, for the first time in a while that I can recall anyways, we were able to... Stand by 1 second, I've got an issue going on here. There we go, sorry about that. First time in a while we've seen a green flag pit stop in the first 30 plus laps of a race. Unfortunately, there was a slight issue with one car. Did bring out the caution, but it looked like some really good racing going on out there. I wondered if you could talk to me real quick about that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Everybody was pretty much trying to shuffle for that position, and I was pushing on Lee pretty hard, trying to keep him up front and keep that outside line from coming down in front of us. But truck got a little hot, so I had to back off a little bit and cool her down. And from there, it's just we're just being patient and see how things turn out at the end of the race.
Copy that. Now, talk to me real quick about not your strategy, so to speak, but is that kind of the overall feeling of everybody tonight? Is it let's just get to that point? Because I'm seeing a little bit different type of racing than we've seen on the super speedways here lately. This group of guys tonight seems to be a little more patient, a little more giving.
Yeah, I think everybody's just trying to get through these laps. So when we get down to the last 20, then it'll be time to go. Especially when we get down to the last 10. So I think it's just everybody's wanting to be a little bit patient. Just race the race, and we'll race hard at the end.
Copy that. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car. You guys are going to be going to green. I'm going to let you get back to it. I want to thank you for taking the time to come up here and talk to me real quick, and hope to talk to you later.
Thanks, Ronald.
All right, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing.
Click Add button to install.
Pace car is off and we are away. Chris Hogue gets out to a very large lead here, uncharacteristic of super speedway racing. Kind of got the field all spread out here. Looks like we'll be going single file. Chris Hogue down on that inside lane with Edward Bray on his bumper. Gary Whitmer Jr. finding his way back up to the front after restarting a little further back in the field after pitting. Has found his way back up to that outside lane. As the top 8 cars start to close up on each other, leaving the rest of the cars behind them. Chris Hogue continuing to lead with the help of Edward Bray. Through the tri-oval they go. Gary Whitmer Jr. on that outside lane. That would be 2 RTK Motorsports trucks up there. That kind of makes me proud to see that. Hopefully they can continue to lead laps and be up front and stay out of harm's way.
And that's what's driving me now.
And therefore it has to be big names,
Yeah.
not good,
Well-known
East European
names.
fighters who people don't.
Brilliant. They are, as I say, they are brilliant fighters. All the champions are world-class quality fighters.
Yeah, and that plays to your competitive instinct that you'd like to have, played your trade against and seen how you'd have done, but your career's got on a different way. I think the Sergeant Javiti can certainly move into that sort of company in the next year or two.
He'll struggle. He'll struggle with the likes of, Alexander Usyk. He will struggle.
Chris Hogue continuing to lead laps here at Talladega. With the help of Edward Bray, and you have Gary Whitmer Jr. on the outside being pushed on by Donald Stewart. Lee Staples is the 3rd truck down on that inside line. This first group of 9 trucks has pulled away from the rest of the field as we go blimp mode. You can see these first 9 trucks, and then it's about 4.4 seconds back to Terry Allen Stewart. As I try to grab him, there he is. Terry Allen Stewart about 4.8 seconds off the lead now. This group of trucks trying to get it together. They are losing a little bit of time. Oh, as we have a caution come out, let's go ahead and see if we can find out exactly what happened there. right, we are back with our leaders. This is the lead pack. Go ahead and pause that and jump down to chopper mode. Oh, as the number 5 truck comes down, unsure if he was clear. Number 5 being pushed on hard by the number 78 truck. 5 truck starting to come down, but has lost his momentum. The number 6 is just right there. What an unfortunate incident for the number 6 and the number 5. See if the number 5 is going to be lucky enough not to get hit. Damage may be minor enough that he may not need to use a repair. We go back to full speed. Gary Whitmer Jr. gets it going. See if he manages to keep it from, as he gets into the wall. Still maybe very minor damage that does not require him to take a quick repair as we go back live. We'll stay with Gary Whitmer Jr. and see what he ends up doing here on this pit stop. See, no real damage on the right front. Very slight damage on the left rear. He may have taken his repair. I'm not positive. Jump back up with our leader. Leader is being shown as Michael Johnson. With 55 laps to go. Sorry, your current leader is being shown of that of Donald Stewart. So an unfortunate incident there between the teammates of Chris Hogue and Gary Whitmer Jr. Let's go ahead, get a chat in real quick with our current race leader, Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Ron. I got you.
Well, we were doing really well. Had that one caution. It was just a single car caution. Guessing that car had some kind of shifting issue. It looked like might have downshifted, slid sideways, and blown an engine. That's what brought out our first caution. And then, unfortunately, we just watched the two teammates of Chris Hogue and Gary Whitmer Jr. get together. It looked like Gary Whitmer Jr. was clear for a second, and then he wasn't. You had a front seat to that. Did you get any of that? Did you get any damage on that incident?
No, I didn't get no damage, and I was talking to Gary, and I told him he was clear, and then he waited just a little bit too long to go down, evidently.
All right, you're going to have a couple rounds at 7.
The hole must have closed up on him.
Copy that. It did kind of close in a hurry. He did look like he was clear, and it takes. I guess it takes a while to get to that point before you become comfortable enough to where you just, really just make a very deliberate move very quick. And it's kind of what he would have needed to do there instead of he kind of looked like he started to come down, and then when he did come down, unfortunately, the two bumpers weren't perfectly lined up between the 6 and the 5, and that's what caused that one. But anyways, I was just concerned and wondered if you got any damage from that and how your truck's running.
Yeah, we talked to Gary about that. So we are all out here learning together. So we're just learning curve. We're gonna do better next time. Truck's running good. I think everybody's being patient out here. We're still racing hard, but we're trying to race clean and just having a good time.
Copy that. We've got 54 laps to go, which means we still do have an opportunity for one more chance at a green flag pit stop, because that usually kind of thins out the field at least a little bit. And you guys had a little bit of separation there. You had a 8-car breakaway, and then the remaining 8 or 9 cars from there back. So green flags do kind of separate the field a little bit, but I guess that's really what I assume what everybody's kind of looking forward to, right? Is the next round of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, yeah. We're hoping to go green the rest of the way and do a green flag pit stop, and we'll see where we end up.
Copy that. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time. I want to thank you for coming up and chatting with me real quick. Hope to talk to you at the end of the race.
Tip well, Ronald. Have a good time.
You too. All right, so there you have it. So through pit stops and all that, cycling through of everyone going into pits and doing what they need to do. Looks like Edward Bray will be your current race leader, and you've got Chris Hogue on the outside. Looks like Chris Hogue may have just a slight bit of front end damage there. Anyways, so does the 322 Maurice Johnson. In the draft, that probably won't be such a big deal because it's not a lot of damage. Looks like Gary Whitmer Jr. is third in line down on that inside, so we'll be going back to green flag racing with just 53 laps to go, crossing the start-finish line shortly thereafter. It'll be just 52 laps to go, so about 52 laps and this race will be over. Waiting for the front stretch here, wait for that pace car to drop off, and then we're going to be going back to green flag racing. Pace car is off. Hear those engines rev. There we go. Number 66 shooting away. 322 behind him. Chris Hogue in that outside lane didn't get the best of starts. He's got Kerry Allen Stewart behind him. Creeping into the picture there is the number 11 of John Henderson. John Henderson driving the Monster Energy Silverado. Donald Stewart sitting back there fifth in line in the number 78. Outside line starting to move just a little bit forward now. We swing our cameras around. We have everyone back in the pack again. Like to jump back to the man in the number 7 truck, Gary Whitmer Sr. on the lead lap, currently in 10th position. Gary Whitmer Sr. doing a fine job this evening. We walk forward. We'll go to the rear first. About that, we'll start with the rear. Last truck out there currently is Will Prolix in the number 83. And jumping forward, we've got the number 004 of Michael Johnson. Then we have Lee Staples, Rob Haynes, Gary Whitmer Sr., Kevin Scott Nelson, Donald Stewart, Miss Dave Acacia there in the number 20. Then it's Kerry Allen Stewart. And it's Chris Hogue on the outside. John Henderson, the number 11 on the inside, currently in 4th. And it's Gary Whitmer Jr. in 3rd. Maurice Johnson in 2nd. And your current race leader is Edward Bray. Take you guys to the overhead here. And we're going to have a quick commercial. I'll see you back here in a few seconds. We have just crossed halfway. We are on lap 52 of 100. Edward Bray is still leading on that inside line. Chris Hogue out there in the outside lane, trying to make a challenge for that number 1 position again. Chris Hogue was just up front leading when he and the number 5 car had an unfortunate incident that gave them each just a touch of damage. Throw up our race summary here. Edward Bray is your current leader. We've got 53 of 100 laps in the books. There's been 12 lead changes, 2 cautions, just 5 laps. Current top 5 is Chris Hogue, Edward Bray, Dave Acacia, Michael Johnson, Kevin Nelson. That will change here shortly. Chris Hogue starting to pull ahead just a bit on that outside lane. Losing their run and momentum on that outside lane. Chris Hogue will have to fall back to the number 20. Wait for a push from the again. Running order changing by the second because we are at a super speedway and things do change so rapidly. Edward Bray being shown as your leader this lap. Chris Hogue continuing to try to fight on that outside lane. The help of Dave Acacia. Strong trucks out here tonight. I wouldn't know which driver to pick for the win. Chris Hogue gets a good run on the outside, able to clear. The number 66 gets down in front of the 66. Chris Hogue back out in front again this evening. Number 6 RTK Motorsports Silverado is definitely showing some power tonight. Are on lap 58 of 100, just 42 laps to go. Total of 15 lead changes. Go ahead and take you for a ride inside. Truck of Edward Bray pushing on Chris Hogue. Edward Bray trying to be as smooth as he can on the rear end of the number 6 truck. One of the biggest issues we have here at Super Speedways is the dreaded bumper hook. That happens when the driver in front is moving his steering wheel and the driver that's pushing is moving his steering wheel, and they usually end up in the opposite direction. One going up, one coming down, and that's when the trucks touch, and that causes the bumpers to be off center and causes it to spin a truck. So Edward Bray trying to make sure that he doesn't do that to Chris Hogue. Edward Bray, one of the better pushers out here, doing a great job pushing on to the number 6 of Chris Hogue. Like these drivers are back in the same rhythm they were earlier in the evening. Step away and take another commercial break here. And welcome back once again. Not much has changed. Chris Hogue still your leader on that inside lane. David Casey challenging on the outside lane. Edward Bray pushing on the number 6, the 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson, pushing on his teammate David Casey in that outside lane. Back in, take a look at our number 7 truck of Gary Whitmer Sr. Looks like there must have been some issue. He has lost the main pack, he's lost the draft. Gary Whitmer have a difficult time trying to catch that draft all by himself, running 101 miles per hour. Jump up to our leader. The leader's running 199 miles per hour. Going to be very difficult for Gary Whitmer Sr. to catch the speed pack. As a matter of fact, I hate to say it, but pretty much impossible for him to pack it. Him fade further and further back. If someone were to drop back and get him at this point, probably cost that person after as well. Gary Whitmer Sr. out there running. Hopefully we don't have another caution. That would be the only Whitmer Sr. to be back in the pack. Chris Hogue still out there on that front line. Dave Acacia still in the outside lane, trying to give the number 6 a run for his money. He is not clear. He was clear momentarily. Not clear any longer as the number 6 truck starts to push back in front of the number 20. Drivers are coming up. In about 5 laps, they'll be within their pit window. It'll be interesting to see if anyone chooses to pit. They all will have to pit at some point, but it'll be a game of who's going to pit with who and when they're going to do it. Chris Hogue still out there leading that outside lane, or excuse me, inside lane. David Casey is still out leading the outside lane with the help of Kevin Scott Nelson in that 224 PPG paint job. Edward Bray getting to the back bumper of Chris Hogue as they go down the backstretch. Joel Guy currently 16, back out on the track and running. Fortunately, Joel is 32 laps down. Joel's got extensive damage to the rear end of that truck. Back up to our leaders. Pretty much still the same story, folks. Chris Hogue out there leading Edward Bray, pushing on him. Number 20 still in the outside lane with Kevin Scott Nelson, Rob Haynes, Kerry Allen Stewart. Behind Edward Bray, you've got the 322 of Maurice Johnson, followed by Gary Whitmer Jr. Just a little bit further back, you've got Will Prolix, number 83 car. jump back and there's the 3 car, or 83 truck rather. Will Perlix, Donald Stewart, the number 11 of John Henderson, Lee Staples, and Michael Johnson. Leaders coming up on Joel Guy. Joel Guy will go high for the leaders. Put us 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Everyone gets through safe. As we watch these drivers move around just a little bit here. Rob Haynes made a move down to inside that will put number 68 fourth on the side. Chris Hogue still out there leading. Edward Bray still a second. 322 of Maurice Johnson still in third. That outside lane of Dave Acacia, followed by Kevin Scott Nelson and Gary Allen Stewart, starting to finally make a run back toward this pack. Just 28 laps to go. We're going to see green flag pit stops here. Point leaders. Some of the leaders probably pitted around lap 50. That'll carry them in 80 something lap. Don't remember exactly when the caution was out. Some of these trucks probably can make it into the 80s. Truck starting to come down just a little, not quite clear, cannot make that pass. A little bit. Come up on lap track 4. Too wide through the tri-oval. Tri-oval without issue. Coming up off the bottom, a little bit through the Dave Acacia trying to get a run on the outside. And here comes green flag pit stops from the number 6. Can he get it woed up in time? Seems like he may have. That is a large group of cars. Looks like the number 6, the number 66, the 68, among others, including Gary Whitmer Jr. Staying out on the track, you've got Dave Acacia, Kevin Scott Nelson, Kerry Allen Stewart, the 322 of Maurice Johnson. Oh no, as the number 20 and the 224 get into each other, that will bring out a caution. We were on that action. Let's go ahead and back that up and take a look one more time at what happened there. Focus in on the 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. Gonna need to back it up ever so slightly. Looks like a bumper hook. Yes, indeed, a slight bumper hook between the 20 and the 224. Then the number 11 gets into the back of the 224, not once but twice, obviously not intentionally. That will definitely change everything here in this race. For those who had not pitted, they will be on pit road pitting this time. Maurice Johnson, Kerry Allen Stewart, Dave Acacia, all on pit road. This will put everyone back together in one pack. I am currently showing Maurice Johnson as the race leader. Waiting for our timing and scoring to update to give you the full update. The list that I have here shows the 322 of Maurice Johnson currently in first position, Kerry Allen Stewart in second, Dave Acacia in third. Fourth will be Edward Bray, fifth Rob Haynes, sixth Donald Stewart, seventh Lee Staples, eighth Gary Whitmer Jr., ninth Will Prolix. 10th, Chris Hogue. Running 11th will be John Henderson. 12th will be Michael Johnson. And 1 lap down, Gary Whitmer Jr. Kevin Scott Nelson currently being shown as 2 laps down, getting repairs. And Joel Guy 33 laps down. Looks like the drivers have gotten the one to go. They are lining up double file. We will have 20 laps remaining when we go back to green flag racing. Not quite go time yet, but it will be very shortly. Maurice Johnson lining up on that inside lane. Terry Allen Stewart lining up on the outside lane. Big shout out there to Becky Whitmer. Not sure exactly how he ended up a lap down. Becky, I think he lost draft somehow, and you know how it is once you lose a draft here. But Gary's been doing a great job tonight. There is always that chance that there will be another caution and possibly get back on the lead lap. So don't count him out just yet. As I said, we are on lap 79 of 100, coming to the flag here. We'll be finishing up lap 80 of 100 with just 20 laps to go. Pace car is off. We'll be waiting for the 322 to take off and get this race back under green. And there he goes. The 322 is off and away. The number 20 is right with him. The 56 and the 66 in the outside lane are just as hooked up as the 322 and the 20 are. 20 getting down below the yellow line slightly. See what that outside lane can do here with Edward Bray behind the number 56. Donald Stewart is behind Edward Bray out there on that inside lane. The inside lane, we got Maurice Johnson, Dave Acacia, Rob Haynes, Lee Staples, and the number 83 of Will Prolix. Outside lane, we've got Kerry Allen Stewart, Edward Bray, Donald Stewart, Gary Whitmer Jr., and Chris Hogue. Rob Haynes pulling up out of that inside lane, pulling to the outside, trying to help that outside lane or help himself move up towards the front of this pack. Inside lane just very strong right now. The outside lane not moving quite as much as far forward as Lee Staples ducks to the outside lane as well. Rob Haynes now pushing on the number 64. Chris Hogue decides he likes the inside lane right now, trying to move forward in that inside lane. The outside lane still not being able to really move forward. They are starting to finally move forward. As the number 64 and the 322 are battling it out for that front position. All these cars are pretty tight. All these trucks are pretty tight. 322 doing a great job out front. David Casey pushing very well, keeping that 322 up front. Donald Stewart at the rear of this pack. Gary Whitmer Jr. on the inside lane behind his teammate, number 6 of Chris Hogue. Just 17 laps to go, coming to 16 to go. The outside lane may finally be starting to move forward ever so slightly. 83 coming up through the tri-oval. Number 6 coming up through the tri-oval. On lap 84, coming to lap 85, your leader still the 322 of Maurice Johnson. A little bit of wiggly squiggly there. That is going to slow up that inside lane. Chris Hogue having to get out of it, gets into the 66. The 66 gets into the 6th, gets into the 78. That is going to bring a caution flag out. Very unfortunate incident there. This all starts when the 322 checks up. We're going to jump to the number 6 car of Chris Hogue and then immediately back it up just a little bit so you can see. Go to chopper mode. The 322 gets sideways, checks up. That stacks up the field. The 6 gets up, drifts up into the 66. That was kind of a strange incident there. Let's go back to chopper mode and back that up one more time. There was contact there between the 6 and the 66. Almost looked like some sort of net code. And we're gonna slow it down here. 6 drifts high, not to get into the 83, but drifts just a little bit too high. 66 coming down just a little bit. They touch, and then, wow, the back of the 66 just jumps sideways. That's very, very strange. Look at that one more time. They touch, and then Edward just jumps sideways. So quite interesting there. Then Edward gets down into both the 6 and the 5. Then the 6 goes up the track and gets into the 78, flipping the 78 over. What an unfortunate incident with just 14 laps to go. Let's go back live and see. We've got Chris Hogue down there on pit road. Does not look like Chris Hogue has any life left. May have had to tow if he still has a fast repair. Unfortunately, that truck is very torn up, not going to make it back out onto the track. It looks like, we'll not say that for sure, but does not look like he's going to make it back out onto the track. Let's take a look for Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart back out on the racetrack. Looks like Donald Stewart had a repair left. Donald Stewart with a clean race car. Go take a look at the number 66 car of Edward Bray. Edward Bray also back out on the racetrack. Looks like he has a clean truck, so he must have had a backup truck left as well. Jumping up to the number 5 truck of Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer sustaining right side damage during that incident, does not have it repaired. Not sure if he has a repair remaining. That will definitely impede his probability to possibly win this race. Very unfortunate incident for our drivers out there tonight. As we jump back forward to our leader being shown as Lee Staples. Get a chance, we're going to talk with our leader, Lee Staples, real quick. Lee Staples, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you, Ron.
What an unfortunate incident there. We saw the replay, and maybe you can even relay this to the guys down there. We saw the 6 drift up because of a kind of a checkup, so to speak, on that inside lane. The 322 got a bumper hook. I can't tell you exactly who it was. I can't remember. Just a slight bumper hook. Got down below the yellow line. That slowed the inside lane up. Chris Hogue had to check up and pull up out of his lane. Edward Braid seemed to be kind of coming down just a little bit, but they got together and everything looked fine, and then all of a sudden the back of Edward's car just jumped to the right after they had separated. So looked like maybe some neck code involved in there, but what did you see from your vantage point there?
I didn't see anything, Ronald, but I can attest to the room has been having some latency issues, not anything on any of the competitors. It's iRacing's been having some issues tonight, so I would not be surprised if that's the reason Edward's truck was jumping around. Edward reported in the very early laps everybody's truck was jumping around, and I noticed nearly everyone's latency meter was in the yellow. So iRacing's doing some funny things tonight.
Copy that. Well, unfortunate because obviously we had a really great race going there with a bunch of cars here. Now I am currently showing we have 11 cars remaining on the lead lap, so that's a good thing. We will still have enough cars to have a good run to the finish with just 12 laps to go. I'm assuming you guys have not gotten the 1 to go because I didn't see you guys go double file. So have you?
Yeah, we're at 2 to green right now.
Roger that. So we'll be basically 10 laps to go when we go green. Now I'm showing your dance partner Edward Bray back in 9th position. Is there any way that you guys are going to get to work together, or are you trying to make friends with other people at this point?
I'm thinking at this point, Ronald is just going to be every guy for himself. If Edward can get up here, that would be great. But I've got to do what I got to do at this point, and I'm going to live and die in this bottom lane here. It's either going to take me to the win or it's not. So I put myself in a position to win, and that's about the best I can expect. Luck will take care of the rest of it.
I don't know if I'd call it luck or not. You got Rob Haynes lining up behind you on this restart. He's one of the better pushers in the business here, but you do have Maurice Johnson on that outside lane and David Casey, and David Casey seemed to be very strong at pushing in the last about 15-20 laps. I was watching him push Maurice Johnson on the inside. So that could be a tough competition between the bottom lane and the top lane.
Yeah, and I will give a big shout out to Rob Haynes. He's helped put me in the lead here. So
we'll copy that. Since you are getting ready to go to 1 to go, I'm going to let you go and get back to business here, and hopefully we'll talk to you here in just a few minutes.
All righty. Thank you, Ronald.
Righty, you heard it right there from Lee Staples, we're getting ready to go back to green. I want to check in real quick back with the number 6 of Chris Hogue, who is back out on that track. 1 lap down, so Chris must have had a repair left. Unfortunately, had to go a lap down due to towing. He is 1 lap down with the number 7 of Gary Whitmer Sr. Jump back up to our leader, Lee Staples. We are on lap 89 of 100. You get the green flag and the boys cross the line. We will have just 10 laps to go. Roll up our race summary real quick. Current race leader is Lee Staples. 89 laps complete of 100. We've had 23 lead changes. We've had 4 cautions for a total of 12 laps. We started out very well and have had a couple of cautions here recently. As the pace car ducks in, gonna sit back just a couple as we go green flag. Lee Staples takes off, leaving everyone behind him. 68 of Rob Haynes not going at the same time as Lee Staples. The 322 fell back as well. His dance partner, the number 20, as Rob Haynes pulls to the back bumper of Lee Staples, was questioning whether maybe he was going to pull to that outside or if he was going to stay with him. Decides to stay with him. Here comes the 322 of Maurice Johnson and the 20 of Dave Acacia on that outside lane. They've also got Kerry Allen Stewart on that outside lane. Gary Whitmer Jr., the nearest car to the inside lane, some cars back. As we're about to go 3 wide, and we're going to have another caution, unfortunately. Saw that one in the distance there. Let's go ahead and back that up. All right, I do believe it was the number 11 car, so let's get the camera on the number 11 car. Number 11 car moving up. Oh, Donald Stewart moving down. Let's go ahead and rewind that back just a little bit. Going to switch views around. And we're going to slow it down. Like Donald Stewart may have just barely clipped 11, gotten into the wall, put the 11 on its lid. Very unfortunate. That puts the number 11 car on pit road. Check in with 78 car. 78 truck. Man, I keep saying car tonight. Donald Stewart also on pit road. Very tore up race car. May be done for the evening. Looks like Chris Hogue may be getting his lap back after going a lap down from that incident. Chris Hogue getting the wave around, the lucky dog, and getting his lap back. We're on just 8 laps to go. As we jump back up to our leader, I am currently showing our running order as follows: Lee Staples, Maurice Johnson, Dave Acacia, Rob Haynes, Gary Allen Stewart, Will Prolix, Gary Whitmer Jr., Edward Bray, Michael Johnson, Chris Hogue, Gary Whitmer Sr. 1 lap down. John Henderson is off the track. Donald Stewart is off the track. Kevin Got Nelson also off the track. Joel Guy 33 laps down. Go ahead and grab Maurice John. Been very solid all night long. Maurice Johnson, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, looks like you're in a room by yourself. So are you working by yourself tonight?
No, I tried to move down to the main lobby there, or the main group. I must have not clicked it or something.
Oh, well, I can put you in there when I'm done here. You look like you've been strong all night long. You and David Casey were working very well together. Unfortunately, David Casey is going to be lining up inside, but you do have Rob Haynes on the outside. You guys obviously have not taken one to go yet. Have you taken the 2 to go yet?
No, we have not.
We're probably looking at about 4-lap shootout then. When it comes time, go back to green. 64 just got up there recently. Have you got anything for the 60?
I don't know. Lee's been awful good all night. Been running him most of the night. I like the way Rob was pushing him, though, so I feel like I got a pretty good matchup. I don't know any of these boys one-on-one, but Rob seems to be a good pusher.
There's a lot of good pushers left out there in the field. I've raced with most of these guys, and I've been broadcasting the super speedways for quite some weeks now, and the field's got a lot of strong drivers left in it, so I think it'll be a good finish if we can avoid simple mistakes. Talk to me about your night so far, because as I said, from up here, it looked like you've been running very strong.
Hi, Ryder. Yeah, I got in late. Just started made qualifying. Had to go to the end of the line, but racers have been racing real clean. It's pretty predictable. Everybody is, and just sort of try to manage to ease my way up here to the front, and hopefully give it a shot at the end here.
Well, copy that. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Just wanted to get your thoughts real quick. Hopefully, might be able to talk to you here in a few minutes when this thing's over.
Ryder. We're hoping so. Thanks.
Copy that. Alrighty, so we're not quite to even 1 to go. That means we'll have a chance to talk to one more person. Let's go ahead and drag Dave Acacia in. Dave Acacia, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Ron, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, sir?
Good, trying to keep it clean, and we've been running up front, but a teammate hooked us by accident, and but we're right back up here.
Copy that. Well, you pretty much summed all that up. Now, I've noticed that you've been quite the pusher this evening. I've been watching, all throughout the field, but boy, when you and Maurice were hooked up, you guys were very strong. Is that a product of the Toyota and Toyota, or is that just the ability of the driver in front and the ability of the driver behind to stay hooked up?
Well, I think it's more the ability of the drivers to stay together and stay consistent with a lap. If somebody gets a little bit out of whack, then just like any other, like my teammate did to me, bumper hooked me, and it could happen to anybody. They got to just keep consistent,
Copy that. Well, I don't have much else for you at this point, but you've been doing really, really well tonight. Hopefully, get a good finish. Maybe get a chance to talk to you here in a few minutes.
Yep. Well, it looks like we're going to line up on the inside, and we're going to give Lee a push and see what happens.
Copy that. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, as we hear from Dave Acacia, and we're about ready to start getting lined back up for the final restart. What should be the final restart. We're just going to have about 4 laps to go, I do believe, as we are on 6 to go right now. We're going to cross the line in just a moment. That'll be 5 to go. They take the green, it'll be 4 to go. Drivers are getting lined up side by side. Give you that running order one more time. Lee Staples out in front. Maurice Johnson will be on his outside. David Casey will be on the inside lane behind Lee Staples. Rob Haynes will be on the outside lane pushing on Maurice Johnson. Kerry Allen Stewart will be... I'm sorry, it will be... This is incorrect. Will Prolix will be lining up 5th. Kerry Allen Stewart will be lining up 6th. Gary Whitmer Jr. will be lining up 8th. Edward Bray 7th. Michael Johnson will be lining up 9th, and Chris Hogue will be lining up 10th. That is your top 10 running order. Gary Whitmer Sr. is still in it, just 1 lap down. Donald Stewart seems to be off the track at this time. John Henderson, Kevin Scott Nelson the same. Still guys still out there, 33 laps down. Actually take it into blimp mode for this restart. As the pace car ducks off, we're waiting on Lee Staples to go. Lee Staples goes. 20 is right on his bumper. 322 gets a good start as well with the number 68 right on his bumper. Few trucks to watch out for here with just 4 laps to go. Oh, as we have another caution. We watched it live, folks. Go ahead and back it up. Not exactly sure what caused the incident. Alrighty, as we are looking at the number 83 of Will Prolix and Kerry Allen Stewart, that does not give us a very good angle. Let's go ahead and change our angle here. And then we're going to back this up. Get right in between these two and see exactly what happened. I gotta say, folks, kind of looked like a net code there to me, but we're gonna go slow motion. We're gonna watch and see if there was any contact. As the 83 does come down, there was actually no contact. Looks like that would be a net code. What an unfortunate incident. I do believe that that is probably going to end the race under caution as the leader comes up to the pace car. We are on 3 to go. We'll cross the line with 2 to go, and we're going to go ahead and drag in. Oh, let's see. Let's actually wait. We'll wait till they cross the line here. We haven't gotten a chance to talk to Gary Whitmer Jr. this evening. Let's talk to Gary Whitmer Jr. real quick. Gary Whitmer Jr., this is Ron Klein. You got a copy, sir?
What's going on, Ronald? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay, I guess. We started out with a really promising race, and it's kind of gotten a little bit worse and worse as we've gone on. The last few incidents, from what I can tell, have been pretty much net code. Some close racing, but seems to be net code involved. I'm assuming you guys have not gotten any indication that we're going back green flag racing.
Right, that's it.
Copy that. So I guess while I've got you here, looks like you're currently running in the 6th position. You and Chris Hogue both looking very, very strong out there tonight. I was very impressed, very proud of the two of you guys running up front, and just a slight issue there. Don't want to talk about that, just want to talk about the performance. And saw you coming back up through the field, thought you might have a chance to get back up front, but seemed like every chance that you got, a caution would come out and slow down the opportunity for you to get back forward.
Yeah, I also had a little damage from that one time. I don't remember what lap that was, but no more resets, but I stayed up front as much as I could.
Copy that. Well, as unfortunate as it is, I guess, you know, these things are for fun, so it's kind of everybody just wants to win the race, but I don't think that there was any ill intention out there tonight. Everything started out really well, and like I said, it just seemed like most of the issues were netcode, so what was going to be a really good race was kind of upended by some netcode.
Yeah, that's a shame. We need to throw the netcode out, find out his number, and take him out.
Copy that. Well, I just wanted to get a quick word in with you. Thanks for letting me know what was going on down there. We are on the last lap, and it does look like we're going to end on a caution. So congratulations on a 6th place finish, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep, thanks, Ronald.
You too, sir. All right, I'm going to drag Rob Haynes up here real quick, and I'm also going to drag in Edward Bray. I'm going to speak with Edward Bray real quick. Edward Bray, you got a copy?
Sure.
What started out as looked like going to be a great race turned out to be kind of a few more cautions in the end than what we expected, but saw a lot of net code going on during that incident with you and Chris Hogue. You guys looked like you looked like you guys were going to be fine. You actually even separated from each other. You were both straight, and then all of a sudden the rear of your car just kicked to the right, and then on this last caution between Kerry Allen Stewart and Will Prolix, Will pulled down, but there was still plenty of room there, and then boom, all of a sudden they were sideways. So a lot of netcode issues tonight, seems.
Yeah, we've had a couple times where the latency went into yellow. So we had some issues at the beginning. Other than that, everything was staying green. The one incident with Chris and myself, we had one truck that I guess got loose a little bit. They checked the second place, checked up. Evidently that checked everything up, and I'm not sure exactly what happened there. All I know is,
that's exactly
Chris was into my side, and then this last one here, I did see the truck in front of me go down, and next thing you know, they were up in the wall. So, yeah, it's been an interesting evening tonight, but hey, we had some green flag pit stops, and we had some green flag racing. That's all that counts.
Well, there was some great racing, and it didn't look like there was any malintent whatsoever. That's kind of what I wanted to talk with you guys real quick about, and you know, probably the disappointment of not getting a chance to shoot it out at the end there. Just wanted to grab your thoughts real quick before I interview the leaders.
Oh yeah, I mean overall it was a great race. We did have some issues, like I said, but seems like everybody had fun tonight. It would have been great to have a green flag finish, but we have those nights that just like tonight. So other than that, great, good job to everybody that raced tonight.
Copy that. Well, I appreciate your time, sir. And not sure what happened. Who are you guys showing in third? Okay, that's correct. Now I got
Maurice.
it. Yep. For some
So yeah,
reason,
it'd be Maurice.
Yep, for some reason, it's actually showing on my screen. It's showing Rob Haynes. But anyways, Rob, I wanted to talk to you real quick because it looked like you were doing a fantastic job of making the right moves at the right time, and just wanted to get your input real quick and see if you had something for him there. Had we gone green flag till the end?
Yeah, Ronald, I was ready to put hammer down there with only a couple laps to go, so I was looking forward to a green flag finish. But hey, these things happen, and overall, I think a pretty good race for the number 68 Chevy here. Just enjoyed a nice clean truck all race, and I think you should go and interview those guys on the starting row there. Congrats to Lee in the win, and good run by everybody at KMA here.
Copy that. I want to thank you for coming out and supporting KMA tonight and putting on a show for all the fans.
Yeah, appreciate what you're doing too, Ronald. Thanks very much.
Alrighty, thanks, Rob. All right, and we're gonna drag in our top three. We've got dragging in all three of our drivers. Alrighty, so first we're gonna start out with our third place finisher, the number 322. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Already, Mr. Maurice Johnson, talk to me about your third place finish tonight.
It was a fun race all the way through. Everybody raced well, played well with each other, gave each other room and stuff. Just a really enjoyable race. I thought I had a shot at it at the end there, but caution came out and didn't give me an opportunity to make those last 4 laps count. Dave just nosed me out there in the last little bit. It was a good race all the way around.
Copy that. I had spoken with a couple of the other drivers that some of the issues had been, some of the cautions that we had seen were netcode. Unfortunately, the last one that came out appeared to be netcode again, so the netcode really reared its head this evening. I did see some really great racing out of everybody tonight, and I want to thank everybody for that. There are a lot of guys that go back and watch the broadcast. Hopefully they hear that part. But talk to me real quick about your paint job. I'm not extremely familiar with you. I may have raced with you before, but I don't know if I've ever broadcasted with you in the race. Talk to me about the Johnson Racing truck.
Roger, yeah, I've raced with it before with you guys. I probably just I didn't finish well enough to get noticed. It's Johnson Racing. It was a league that I had, and I still have it. Just it's not active right now, and I put the paint job on to identify myself, so people will know who they're dealing with when I'm out here.
Copy that. Well, like I said earlier, notice that you and David Casey were working very well together. It looked like you were working well with anybody, to be honest, and you could find your way to the front if you got shuffled. So I know third place probably not exactly where you wanted to finish, but pretty good night overall.
Top 3 in this group is really well. I'm proud of that. These guys all race well. It's just good to be up here in the top 3. The ideal here for me is that Talladega is whoever's in front of you is your buddy, and if you don't work with him, you'll find yourself in the rear. So that's the way I approach a race.
I copy that. That sounds like a good piece of advice for people to take form to. Before I move on to our second place finisher, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? Anybody watching or any fans?
No, nobody knew I was racing tonight, so I guess I'm out here by myself. I appreciate you guys putting this on. It's a good platform, good format, and appreciate you having me.
Copy that. Congratulations on a third place finish, Maurice Johnson. Hope to see you again soon, sir.
Check. I'll be here.
Alrighty, we're going to move on to our second place finisher, David Casey. Got a copy, sir?
I got you. What's up?
Alrighty, so we're looking at the DeWalt FlexVolt. Now, I've interviewed you multiple times, so I know that you are a fan of the Matt Kenseth paint jobs, and so we can get that kind of out of the way. But talk to me about the rest of your evening. I did interview you a little bit earlier, but talk to me about the finish. Since we talked about a lot of the race, talk to me about the finish.
Well, we started in third on the inside line, and I felt really comfortable pushing all night. Um, no matter who I was pushing, whether it was Mr. Johnson or my teammate, um, I just felt real comfortable tonight. So I think when I got lined up behind Lee on the final restart, even though I was third, I knew that even if it went green the rest of the way, I think I probably would have came in second, pushing Lee, just staying behind him, staying patient, staying consistent. But who knows? The caution came out, so that changes things a lot. But I felt comfortable that I was going to at least push Lee right from the get-go.
Copy that. Now, you mentioned your teammate. Talk to me real quick for anybody that may be out there and doesn't know the team affiliation that you're speaking about.
Okay, our team is called Kicking Asphalt Motorsports. It's myself, Jason Russo, Kevin Scott Nelson, and Paul Pellissier. We all work together on different nights when we can race. A lot of us don't race every night. We race when we can because, I have to work some nights, so I make it when I can. But me, Scott, and me, Paul, and Kevin have been together probably for about 5 years now as friends racing on different sims. And we joined our team Kicking Asphalt, and then we asked Jason to come along and join us, and it's been a blast ever since.
We'll copy that. Well, I don't have a whole lot more for you, so congratulations on a second place finish and coming out and supporting KMA Racing and KMA TV, putting on a great show for the fans. Any final shout outs before I talk to our winner?
Well, thank you for broadcasting Saturday night, and thanks to KMA for all their efforts. I mean, it's fun. It's fun out here racing with these guys, and no matter who wins, this team is a winner. This whole group.
Copy that. Great words and well said. I want to appreciate you, or I want to congratulate you on a second place finish and appreciate those words. And once again, thanks for coming out and supporting us tonight.
Thank you.
Alrighty, as we move on to our race winner, Lee Staples. Lee Staples, are you there?
Got you, Ronald.
Well, you didn't know if you were going to be able to hang on to it or not, but as luck would have it, since you put it on luck, you said, luck would have it, probably not the way that you wanted to win. I know everybody would like to win under green flag conditions, but a win is a win no matter what. You were in the right place. Caution came out, and that's really what matters. So talk to me about how you got to that position.
I had a few problems earlier in the race, fell back to the back of the pack because I had to get some damage repaired from an earlier incident, and somehow worked my way back up to, I think it was third place, and I just kind of got a run there with 20 laps to go, and decided why not just try it right now. So that's when I went to the high side and challenged for the lead for 3 or 4 laps there, and then the guy I was racing kind of got loose there, and I got the lead. And then right after I grabbed the lead, I got a caution. And then it seems like the cautions just played right into my favor. I really didn't have to withstand any serious challenges from anybody because once the race was restarted, it was just a few laps till we were under a caution again. So I told you, Ronald, luck, luck, luck. it was lucky for me and unlucky for everybody else. But you know what? I'll take the win any way I can get it, man. Whether it's luck, skill, whatever, I'm not proud.
Well, and there is some luck involved, but there is also some skill involved. Sometimes there's strategy involved. I haven't. I've won one race outright on this. It was on a super speedway, and I think part of that was skill, part of it was luck. And I've won 2 other races in KMA, and both were on strategy. So you know, there's many different ways to win a race, and I'm with you. I'll take it any way that I can get it. I mean, if I can outsmart you and get you on a fuel strategy, then I'll take it. It doesn't make me any less of a driver. Winning tonight under caution doesn't make you any less of a driver. So I agree with you on that aspect of it. I know you have an affiliated teammate, so talk to me about your team.
Yes, Black Talon Racing. I'm a teammate with Edward Bray in the 66. We formed this thing, I guess it was back in late March or early April, and we just wanted something that was KMA exclusive only. This team doesn't appear anywhere else, and we are KMA all the way. I love the league, love the broadcast, love what you do, Ronald, love what Scott does as far as broadcasting and running the league. And you know, I've really found a home here with KMA last year. I've just had a super time.
Copy that. It's kind of hard to believe. You know, I started iRacing in December, I believe, joined KMA in January, and I've gone from just trying to figure out how to drive a car on a racetrack. You know, I race in real life, but trying to figure out how to drive a car on an asphalt track to where we are today. It's quite amazing, and I have to agree with you. KMA is an amazing league. It's a great place, whether you're a newcomer to iRacing and you don't have a lot of experience, or if you're you're a seasoned iRacer with a very high rating and a ton of wins. Sometimes the guys that are the fastest don't win the races. Sometimes the guys that, you know, guys like me, you know, we all got a shot, and it's kind of cool to be able to drive against people from all different backgrounds. So KMA is a truly unique league, in my opinion.
I agree with everything you said, Ronald. It's like I told all the drivers last week in a post on the Facebook page. I'm never going to run another official iRacing race as far as I'm concerned. I've been doing nothing but league racing the last year and a half, and I love it so much. That's all I want to do. I don't care about the official stuff anymore. This is, to me, is 10 times better than any official race, because there's, you know, you develop friendship first and foremost, but you develop skills. The races are broadcast. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Well, I think you pretty much summed it all up right there. So I couldn't agree with you anymore. And once again, want to congratulate you on a spectacular finish, even though it wasn't as spectacular maybe as some people would want. You were in the right place at the right time. You kept it up front. Any final shout outs before I ask you to do a burnout for me?
Just thank you to Edward for all he does to help me and help the team. And you know what? Thank you to my wife. She gives up a lot of her time with me every week for me to indulge in this hobby. And I want to give a big shout out to her before I sign off here.
Copy that. That's probably a very smart thing to do.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, well, Lee Staples, your winner here at Talladega Super Speedway on Slammin' Saturday. Lee, if you wouldn't mind doing some burnouts for me, I'm gonna flash the results here and close this out. I appreciate your time, sir, and once again, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Ronald. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, folks. So there you have it. Lee Staples winning here at Talladega Super Speedway. What a night. Started out with just a caution or two, and due to some netcode and whatnot, turned out to be a little heavier on the cautions than when we like, but nonetheless, some really great racing. I want to thank everybody out there that watched the broadcast and is going to watch the broadcast. And on behalf of KMA TV, KMA Racing, RTK Motorsports, I'm Ronald Klein, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.